Hello and welcome to IBTimes TV. I'm Leanna Brinder, Business Editor for the International Business Times. Joining me now is Yannick Malling. He's the CEO of Tradable. So hi, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you've come at a good time in London. It's FinTech Week.
Yeah.
So maybe you can give us an overview on how financial technology is shaping the retail FX trading world.
Finance is one of the industries that have been set for disruption for a long time. And if you look around at other industries, the telephone business, the travel, music, media, they've all been disrupted by these sort of modern trends and technologies. In finance, Tradable is looking to do the same, specifically within retail trading. So basically what Tradable allows people to do is build out their own trading platform by using apps developed by third-party developers, much in a similar way to how the iPhone model came about and how companies like Spotify are doing it for music, Salesforce.com are doing it for CRM, and we're doing it for trading.
So I mean, with that, I mean, what are the, I suppose, the risks that come with that? Because with technology as well and being so accessible, there is, you know, fear on like data and privacy as well. What are the risks on that one?
Yeah, so we've worked really hard, obviously, to keep a data model where we make it very transparent for people, which applications they're using, and we work with different financial institutions. And we actually only work with financial institutions that have a pretty good reputation in the market. They're obviously regulated by all the regulatory authorities in different places in the world, like the US, Japan, and here in the UK. And we try to put that all together in one user experience, which actually gives users more transparency than they've had before. So I think traditionally, if you imagine 20 years ago when people were trading on the phone, you can't really tell where the market is. If somebody's quoting where the dollar's trading versus the yen, you have to take his word for it. Now with online technology, people can obviously see the quotes that are coming to their screen on their PCs or on their Macs, and what we then do is allow them to build out their own trading platform with all sorts of tools that they need to perfect their trading.
At the moment, especially in the FX markets and in trading, there's been a lot of concern in terms of market manipulation. Yeah. How does the technology that you're providing maybe, you know, either help, you know, I mean, stop that kind of risk, or is it just something completely different?
It's slightly different, but we obviously very concerned about that as well. And what we like Tradable to be is also sort of a stamp of approval. So Tradable is a trading platform. It's offered by different financial institutions in the world, but we only really work with sort of the top of breed providers out there. So just today we actually announced a partnership with Bank, which is the biggest investment bank in Turkey, and so we're really looking to partner up with the best of breed financial institutions out there that we know provide a fantastic service to their clients. Then we can provide them a fantastic user experience on the technology side, and then we think we have a winning combination.
Well, I mean, with London, that seems to be the hub for FinTech, as many people have pointed out. I mean, where other areas of opportunity are you seeing from your point of view?
So I think it's very interesting that London is sort of set to be the FinTech capital of the world. I mean, traditionally it's always been Silicon Valley, New York that have really taken the charge on sort of, that's where you've seen a lot of tech startups come out of. But I think London is the financial capital of the world now more so than ever before. And if you match that with a lot of the great initiatives that are going on around the city, the Tech City stuff, the Barclays Accelerator, this week it's FinTech Week. So if you take all that combined, you can really see that the FinTech agenda is being pushed a lot in London, and I think London will end up being the winner in this whole thing, because you essentially have what you need. You have the financial resources, and you have the technology startups are starting to build as well.
Well, how do you see, I suppose, new regulatory changes hitting London? Because I mean, we talk about London being the finance hub, but there's a lot of concern that legal changes are going to make us less competitive. Do you see that happening?
I think a lot of people tend to maybe panic a little bit when they hear the word regulation in the industry, but I think there's also a general consensus that it's definitely a good thing because it brings about some control, some sort of a systematication into the industry actually. So I think it's really about working with the regulation rather than trying to work away from it. Specifically in FinTech, regulation is a big deal, of course, because you generally have this theme of you know, the smaller FinTech startups innovating a lot, being very sort of rapid in their innovation processes, contra the bigger banks, which obviously move a little bit slower. So we think, you know, we're not a startup that want to go out and kill all the big banks and kill all the big brokers. We want to collaborate with them and try to sort of bring the best of both worlds, you know, a very sort of innovative platform, basically coupled with the experience and with the reputation and stability of bigger financial institutions.
Looking into the future, I mean, we've talked about London, Europe, and of course now Turkey with your new announcement. How are you viewing Asia? Is that a beacon for growth for you guys?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we actually have a partner in Japan, in Monex Group, which is one of the biggest financial institutions and brokerages out there. And Asia is definitely, of course, a growing economy overall, but I think particularly if you look at Japan, that's a very interesting market for us. But of course there are regulatory things to address there as well. So we have the same strategy on a global level, actually working very much with credible names in US, in Asia, in UK and in places like Turkey, and through those working with the regulators and adhering to whatever sort of standards they set.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And that was Yannick Malling. He's the CEO of Tradable.